Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again on a Sunday night here to Vidane TV. Took last week off due to the Memorial Day holiday, but we are back at our usual Sunday night home here with the East Coast Winter Racing League. Stafford Motor Speedway, the site, SK Modifieds, the car. Glad to be here with all of you guys. My name is Kyle Young. Joining me in the booth, as always, pressing the buttons and doing the pretty things on your graphical screen, is Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. And although he's half dead, burnt to a crisp, and highly dehydrated, I still have Wes Rowdy Hogue right next to me here in the broadcast booth. Wes, I know that, as I just mentioned, you're half dead. You probably feel like falling over, but how are you doing tonight?
Man, I just got back from a trip from the big star in the sky, as we call it, the sun. And there's still no life there, including my own, and it absolutely sucked. However, we are here calling this a race here tonight for the East Coast Winter League. I believe, what is this, week 8, I believe, of 12, Kyle?
Well, our good old graphical artist, Paul Strickland
10.
Jr. here is showing week number 10. So we are getting down to the nitty gritty here, getting ready to wrap things up with this series, getting ready to crown ourselves a champion here in just 2 weeks. Season finale then is going to be on Sunday, June 14th. So I don't know what the fancy schmancy word is after penultimate, which is second to last. I don't know what the fancy word for third to last is, but this is the third to last race of the season. And I know these guys, it's been a long, grueling season for them so far. Looking forward to getting a champion crown, I'm sure. Really, I'm sure a lot of these guys are looking forward to get back to the Stafford Motor Speedway for real. And Paul, I know that you've been telling us as of late some good news is starting to come out of that racetrack on the real world side.
Yeah, most definitely. We did finally get approved by the state to host essentially private practice sessions. So that was past May 20th rather. And I actually found out last night that next Saturday, Rent a Race Car actually has the track rented out. So we'll be at Stafford Motor Speedway. I'm not sure how many cars we're bringing, but we're bringing a bunch of them. And we're going to kind of test and tune all the rental cars, see how everything's working out, and dust everything off, dust all the winter gunk off of the cars, get everything shined up, get some pictures, get some video, and oh, by the way, you may very well be able to see that practice session right here on Vidane TV as it happens live next Saturday afternoon. We do have the big charity event for Tim's Corner Motorsports at 7 p.m. Eastern next Saturday, but during the day we're going to do everything we can to bring that private practice session to you in your living room or bedroom or wherever you watch us.
So some awesome news there. We'll definitely be sure to keep you updated as the week goes on here. Kicking off June. Tomorrow's June 1st. Just a few more hours left in May. It's crazy to think. But here we are, nonetheless. The qualifying session for tonight's event has concluded. We have our top 20 locked into tonight's feature event through qualifying times, and now we move on to our sudden death, I guess you could say, sudden death heat race. We will have 7 cars competing in this heat race. We will only be taking 5 of them to the feature event tonight, as always, with this league 75 lap feature on tap. So we will send 2 cars home, 7 cars are racing, 5 cars are going to make it. It will be 12 laps in distance. They are taking their grid right now, and this is how we are going to line them up. On the pole here for the sudden death heat race is car number 8 of Nicholas Salva, and his dancing partner on row number 1 to his outside is going to be the 84 car of Jason Blatz. Starting in position number 3 is the 38 of Ignacio Adams, and starting in 4th in the 19 car is Michael Curtis. Car number 22 will line up in position number 5. That is Kenny Zeems. And let's see, is the 714 is out on the racetrack. That is the 714 machine of Alfred Vassar. Alfred Vassar in P7. Dalen Kopech is being listed as car number 6, but he is our race admin. So we will have 6 cars in this heat race, and 1 car will fail to qualify. Actually, it looks like we've only got 5 cars on the racetrack, so it looks like everyone's going to transfer if that's the case.
Kyle, every Sunday night that we've called races for this league, it has been packed with nothing but excitement. It's cool to see some of the same names up front as you typically may see. Teddy Hodgen, who I believe is your points leader, he's going to be sitting up front. on the pole for tonight's race, and also Ryan Libby, who is second in points. He's moved on as well, so that's going to be the storyline. He's moved on in the qualifying. I apologize. In the top 20, he's second in points. So again, we're going to have a couple familiar names here in this heat race that typically battle it out in the heats. One of them, Jason Blatz, in that 84 machine. He definitely knows how to get it done, as well as Michael Curtis in the 19. Two cars that that aren't afraid to use that bumper. They can be a little aggressive, but you really don't have to be here now, Kyle, seeing that everybody's going to move on.
Absolutely so. We had a bit of an adjustment to the starting lineup. Pole sitter Nicolas Salvo was given an end-of-line penalty. He's been showing some connection issues, so he goes from the pole to 5th place. Not really going to hurt him too much here as we go under green, and already we've got trouble. The 84 car of Jason Blatz has gone around. He's piled up 2 other cars with him. That's Ignacio Adams in the 38 and Michael Curtis in the number 19. So, no issues with qualifying tonight through this heat race, and these guys have shown it by piling up in turn 1.
Kyle Adams in the 38 there was putting kind of in a 3-wide position there going for the lead. It looks like Alfred Vasseur took a 3-wide and a 38 just in turn going into 1, possibly didn't know that he had a little bit more room to turn, and he got up into the 14 machine of Jason Blatz. Typically we don't see cautions in the heat races with these guys on Sunday nights, but a little bit of an exception here.
Yeah, indeed. A rare heat race yellow flag, so we'll get things restacked and re-racked here for this restart. Still pacing under caution right now. Alfred Vasseur seems to be the big winner out of that. He goes to the top of the leaderboard. And then we have Nicolas Salva in position number 8. He is continuing to show some connection problems, so we'll have to watch that throughout this heat race. Of course, that's something that you'd rather not have at all, but if you're going to have those issues, it's better to have it now in the heat race than it is in the big main event feature and have to worry about your entire night going to crap because of something like that. Jason Blatz is 3rd, Michael Curtis 4th, and Ignacio Adams is going to line up in position number 5 here for this restart.
All right, so the action didn't take long to get started here at the East Coast Winter League on this beautiful Sunday night. Alfred Vasseur is your leader. He took a 3-wide there in turn 1, lap 1. He's the beneficiary of that incident. So 5 cars started. We're already down to 4 and might possibly turn into 3 as Nicolas Salva is still having connection issues. Looking like Christmas lights here are going around the Stafford Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I was just checking in on his numbers here, connection to the server. Really doesn't look all that bad, but you're seeing the result of that there. And his competitors are unfortunately having to deal with it as well. So again, it's good for him to have that issue during this heat race. Now there is going to be a 5-minute warm-up session after we complete this heat race, so better to have that happen now than in the future. But of course you'd rather not have to deal with that at all, so he'll have some time to get that situated. Hopefully it will be situated for the feature event, and any drama that he's involved with will be good drama, nothing to deal with that connection problem.
All right, so next time around I believe we will be getting the 1 to go. They will be taking the restart on lap 7, so already half of this race being ran under caution. You don't typically see that in a 5-car race, but hey, sometimes things happen. It only takes 2 cars to have a race. It only takes 2 cars to have an incident. So lights are off the pace car, Kyle. And next time around, Alfred Vasseur, easier for me to say, will be your leader, and he'll lead us around to the green flag as he has a little bit of fun here under caution.
So the restart is going to come at the completion of lap number 6. That will be the halfway mark for this heat race. So that turn 1 lap 1 incident has cost us half of the heat race, but we still have 6 laps of racing to go before we get this one wrapped up. The pace car is on to pit road. Vasseur hits the loud pedal and runs away from the field behind him and leaving them in his dust. Great restart for the 714. Nicolas Salva's got a bit of a gap between the battle for 3rd place going on behind him with Ignacio. Or no, that's not Ignacio Adams. I'm sorry. Jason Blatz and the 19 of Michael Curtis. Curtis moves up into that position, taking it away from Jason Blatz, and now he will have his sights set on the still flashing number 8 car, Nicolas Salva. Jason Blatz is into the outside wall here off of turn 4.
Blatt's not having a good heat race here, Kyle. Hopefully he can get it turned around when it comes feature time, since he is locked into the show. But if he's not getting turned, he's hitting the wall on his own. Alfred Vasseur, your leader, lap 9.
4 laps remain here in this heat race. Things kind of settling in. These guys realize that there's really nothing too strenuous to race for. This is just for starting position at the back of the feature. And when you're starting in the back 5 cars of the feature event, there's really not much of an advantage over the other person. So these guys just willing to get this heat race in, get things prepared, maybe use this as an opportunity, as an advantage over the other drivers, seeing a little bit more track time than what they have. But they do have a 5-minute warm-up session here before this feature event rolls off. So whatever advantage it could be, may not be a big one. Oh, Michael Curtis got a big piece of the outside wall there coming off of turn number 4. He will sacrifice a little bit of track time. The 38 of Ignacio Adams goes by, but Adams is 3 laps down, so that's not for a position. Now Jason Blatt's closing in on the back bumper coming into turn 3.
Just a 1 to go as a white flag is shown for Vasseur here, a name that we haven't been able to say too often here on Vidane TV, but he's getting the spotlight here today as he circles his way around 3 and 4. He's looking for the checker, and it's in the air. Your winner, Alfred Vasseur, and that will make it where he will start in the 21st position come feature time.
So Vasseur wins it. Nicolas Salvo will finish in position number 2. It looks like Jason Blatt was able to get around Michael Curtis for P3. Curtis finishes 4th, and then your 5th place finisher will be Ignacio Adams from that heat event. So our field is now set. The drivers will have a 5-minute warm-up session to get things finalized for tonight's 75-lap feature event. And then we will be doing just that, racing for 75 laps here at the Stafford Motor Speedway on a Sunday night to close off the month of May.
Makes your favorite food taste even better? Not having it for a while. You want to know what makes the holidays so great? Only having them once a year. You want to know what made your first visit to the racetrack the best? Never having that experience before. When we have too much of something, it's easy to take it for granted. This is a reminder to appreciate every track, every race, every crew member, and every win. Because there will be a time when those moments seem out of reach.
Absolutely one of my favorite songs, and one of my very quickly making its way to the top of my favorite videos there by Nicole LaRose. Very awesome video she put together throughout the week, where essentially just kind of letting everybody know that we're not alone in this mess, this nonsense that's going on. From the COVID-19 now into the protest. Everybody misses the racetrack. Everybody misses the racetrack family, the race car friends, and I definitely do too. And it's some great news last night, being able to actually get out to the track, no competition or anything like that, but even to be able to smell the race fuel and get one of those nice, hot, pulled pork sandwiches from Stafford Motor Speedway's concession stand. Really looking forward to that next Saturday. You've got no idea. Well, Kyle, you might have an idea. I'm sure you're a pulled pork fan.
Yeah, how can you not be a pulled pork fan?
But very excited to get some news where things are slowly starting to reopen, especially all throughout the country. And there's some crazy things going on right now. It's one of those things where we want everybody to be well and stay safe, and we'll kind of see what happens and try and get through it together. But these guys got about 15 seconds left in warm up. Going to be jumping right onto the grid here for the 10th race here in the SK Modifieds at Stafford, the East Coast Winter League, run by Dylan Kopeck, who had some stern words for his competitors after last week's race. A little bit of a show last week, but Dylan knew it. He implemented a couple extra rules to try and keep the racing clean, and we're really looking forward to a good show here, Wes.
I agree. Again, I'll reiterate it. Every time we call the races here on Sunday nights for the East Coast Winter League, they always put on a show. And the way the trend typically goes is we'll get a few cautions early in the race, and then we get into a nice long green flag groove. And now that the season, and this is typical for leagues, now that the season is coming to a close here in a couple weeks, a couple less drivers stop showing up because either they know they're not going to have a chance in the championship, so they just don't want to try, unfortunately. But with that happening, the smaller car counts sometimes lead to better, more exciting racing, more green flag runs. And last time we were here a couple weeks ago, we had a pretty small car count, but it was the opposite. So let's see what happens here tonight, as starting on your pole again will be your point.
Yes, we will have Teddy Hodgson on the pole, setting the pole lap with an 18.959, and then to his outside. Oh, there we go. I think we may have a loose wire inside of Wes's microphone, perhaps. So yes, Teddy Hodgson, Ryan Blanchard going to be on your front row. Then we've got Kyle Souza and Brendan Wilkinson in positions 3 and 4. Ryan Borges, one of our top competitors in the New Smyrna Speedway World Series of Esports on Wednesday nights. He will ride in position number 5 for the start. Then Travis Hyder will be in position 6. Nicholas Hovey will start 7th. John Palillo in 8th. George Bessett Jr. in 9th. Ryan Libby going to round out your top 10 starters for the evening. Anthony Bello and DJ Gerard is row number 6. Nick Ferlino and Ted Groh on row number 7. Michael Hendrickson. Oh my gosh, we have a crash in our yellow, Wes.
Yeah, you got me loud and clear here, buddy?
We do now, yes, sir.
Gotcha. Yep, a little bit of a loose wire, but we are back here in action. I apologize on that. And yeah, it looks like Ken Zeems further in the back. Jeffrey Ferrugia just kind of drove up into him. And okay, don't know what to say about that one.
Well, hopefully that's not a sign for things to come here this evening. The pace car ducks down out of the safety of pit road and leaves the field in control of Teddy Hodgson inside of his number 55 machine. Rolling off as turn number 4, the green flag flies. And for the 10th time this season, we are underway with the East Coast Winter Racing League here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. A pretty even start. Actually, Ryan Blanchard had a bit of an advantage there going into turn number 1. Now he pulls back to dead even going down the backstretch for the first time. Brandon Wilkinson clears himself into third. We got a car sideways in the top 5. He hangs on, but doesn't do it without bouncing off a few other competitors.
Oh, we got to spin further in the back here, Kyle. The 44 of Nick Frolino gets sent around. Remember, these are admin-controlled cautions, so the cautions necessarily may not come right out, Kyle, but got one around. The 5 sent the 44 around coming out of 4.
And that incident not big enough for race control to throw the yellow, so we stay green here. The field single files out after that crazy first lap event there. Teddy Hodgen goes into the race lead. Ryan Blanchard is in position number 2. Those two drivers do have victories this season. Then we have Brandon Wilkinson third, Kyle Souza fourth, and Ryan Borges currently rounding out your top 5. The top 5 have a very small breakaway over 6th on back. 6th place is currently John Leo and Nicholas Hobie, George Bessie Jr., Anthony Bello, and Ryan Libby are top 10.
And one car around the 11, and the caution has came out as the 18 is involved. Michael Curtis in the 19 is involved. Zachary Sangarano in the 47 is involved. We have our first caution of this feature race here, boys. Just some calamity coming out of turn 2, which is no stranger, as it looks like Travis Hydar in that 11 got a little bit of help from the 47 on entry of 1, and it was just a chain reaction from there, Paul.
Yeah, you can see we're taking a look at the Shed Life Shed Movers instant replay right now. Sends the 11 on up. Saw him spin out a little bit earlier on in the race already as well. And we're going to change cameras, change views here just a quick bit here and take a look to see just what happened with those other couple of cars. And it looks like they just get collected up as we got a tree in the way. Bear with us one second. And then we'll see the 38 cars. These guys are all smashed up. So tough break for those guys. Nothing crazy bad for as far as hits go or anything like that. So definitely good news there. These guys aren't going to have to bring their cars out to the shed for the old Shed Life Shed Movers instant replay. So that's pretty good. And just a quick word about Shed Life Shed Movers. They're a professional full-service shed moving service located in Central Florida, serving the entire state of Florida. Shed Life Shed Movers has been exceeding customers' shed moving expectations with outstanding customer service for over 12 years. So definitely be sure to check them out and get any of your shed moving needs taken care of.
Right, and shout out again to AWS Roofing Services in Florida. AWS Roofing, the #1 roofing service of the state of Florida, in business for over 30 years. All your roofing needs during hurricane season, non-hurricane season, or maybe you just have a crazy ex-wife that decided to tear up your roof. Either way, they got you taken care of. Check them out, AWS Roofing Services on Facebook. Shout out to Hannah and Jesse Powers, their newborn baby. I think it's been a couple weeks now since the baby was born. Congratulations to them. We know they're having a lot of sleepless nights. And hopefully to see Jesse on the track here soon at New Smyrna Speedway once things get rocking and rolling. You know, New Smyrna was supposed to have their opening night since the COVID pandemic this past Saturday, and Mother Nature won again. So unfortunately, they will have to wait another week.
Go ahead, Will.
Yeah, Teddy. I was just saying, Teddy Hodgins got that restart that he wanted there, Kyle. He got the whole shot coming off of the line in the battles for second.
That was a much better restart for Teddy Hodgins than the initial start. Side by side, still for position number 2. That's what Brandon Wilkinson and Ryan Blanchard. Blanchard almost was clear, thought about coming down to the bottom side of the track, was not able to do so. Still, now he's able to clear cutoff from turn number 2, and Brandon Wilkinson has a back bumper full of the 13 machine of Kyle Souza. And how about this? Ryan Borges used the top side to get next to Souza.
Kyle, the Charlie Demir Jr. ride of that 79 is about to go a lap down. A lap ago there was a huge checkup in 3 and 4. He got sent around all by himself. Now, because of that, he was battling for a top 15 finish. He is down a lap. And now the 47 of Zachary Sangmarano. He finds himself in problems for the second time this week, or for this race. And Kyle, his engine is blown.
Yeah, lots of smoke billowing out of the back end of that number 47 car. He says, screw pit road, access road. He cuts right through the backstretch infield, brings it to pit road, so we will stay green flag there. Unfortunate circumstance for the 47, but he thought about his fellow competitors, got that car off the track, and we stay green flag racing. The battle is now on for position number 3. Kyle Souza underneath of Brandon Wilkinson. His number 7 machine is underneath the 56 with the advantage coming off of turn number 4. Not much of an advantage down the front stretch. Ryan Borges watching this battle, trying to figure out which line he wants to work with. Looks like he's going to try to fit underneath Brandon Wilkinson, but is not able to do so. Souza makes the pass. Wilkinson tries the turnover, but is not able to do so. So move the 7 of Souza up to P3. Now he has his sights set on that dueling duo up in front of it.
Ryan Borges, we've been seeing him in the new Smyrna Speedway series as well as a couple others that we call. So cool seeing his name pop up in other places. And another big wreck in the back. Jason Blatz goes around with Travis Hydar. Oh, wow, that's 2 names that we've already seen wreck. And now Hydar wrecks into Blatz on purpose in 1 and 2. He's still chasing him. He turned him.
Wow, Wes, that was as blatant can be, and race control saw it. Travis Hyder has been removed from the race. Caution number 2 comes out. I missed that initial part. You clearly didn't, but I was able to turn on and see that. Oh my goodness, I just caught it on our stream here. I cannot believe that Blatz drove that race car across the track right in front of the leaders. Thank goodness he missed them. But wow, what a wild caution number 2.
All that was retaliation after the 84 lost it on his own, and unfortunately the 11 of Hydar caught him as he hit the wall, and then Hydar knows his frustrations and he woes to intentionally wreck him a couple times and fails, and then Hydar give the right rear. We usually give out a dunce cap from time to time, and Travis Hydar is going to get that dunce cap for the race. There's no room for that in this league or any league. It's unfortunate to see a driver show his IQ's the same as his shoe size doing something like that. That was uncalled for.
Yeah, we're looking at the AWS Roofing Instant Replay right now. I'm trying to figure out what broke on the 84 car to send him up into the wall. But there you see he backs into the 11 car and sends him on down. So it definitely didn't look too intentional on the 84, but we'll fast forward here. You see there was one shot right to the back bumper, comes up high and just dumps him right into the outside wall there, and there you see Teddy Hodgson and Ryan Blanchard, the 2 leaders, coming right up on these guys, and as he disappeared, that is right when he was disqualified from the race. So tough break for those guys. You got to feel for the 84, who's got some heavy damage on the back of that Jason Blatz machine. But we're under caution here again at Stafford. We'll get everything lined up, double by 2x2, and go from there. Get some green flag racing in.
Yes, and man, as race control, that's not something you want to see. Unfortunately, Jason Blatz, his day is over as well. That's not something you want to see as race control as an admin of a league, because you want to keep the integrity up of your league. And tough break there. We know Jason Blatz was already having issues from his heat race, as was Travis Hydar. But sometimes tempers just get up there. Either you're upset about something earlier and maybe Blatz was an innocent victim. Maybe there was something from earlier tonight that may have sparked the retaliation there. But from what we saw, that was just not a good move. But back up front, Teddy Hodgson, your points leader and your race leader.
Yeah, usually if you're going to try to pull a move like that, you try to make it less intentional looking. Rule number 1 of intentional wrecking is do not make it look intentional. And Travis Hydar did not pass rule number 1, so he has been removed. He did accomplish his goal, though. Jason Blatz has been finished from this race. The damage too much, so he's climbed out of his number 84 car. Unfortunate for Jason, and hopefully he'll have a better week next week. So we're doubled up, going green this time by Teddy Hodgson, still leading Ryan Blanchard. Kyle Souza is third, Brandon Wilkinson fourth, and Ryan Borges still hanging on to that top 5 position. Nicholas Hovey is sixth, John Polillo is in seventh, George Bassett Jr. in eighth, Anthony Bettle ninth, and Ryan Libby will round out your top 10 as we come to the restart with 53 laps to go.
Ryan Libby has some work to do if he wants to chew into the points lead of Teddy Hodgson, as Libby is second in points. He's got to get the job done. And right now, he has the odds stacked in front of him, including about 8 other cars, as well as Libby in the 46 first at the bottom. With that being said, just a quick note that Zachary Sangermano has also retired from this event as we work through turn 4.
Libby with heavy race traffic in front of him. He's trying to get around the 57 car. That is John Polillo. Polillo stuck on the outside. Looks like Libby's got a great advantage coming off at turn number 2. Polillo still hanging on the right rear at the moment, but he's able to drive it into turn number 3, and that spot will be clear. Now the 57 gets spun around. He slides and gets pounded by the 13 of DJ Girard. Multiple cars sliding through the infield. Caution flag number 3 has flown.
I was able to catch that one live there. It looked like the 51 just kind of washed up into the 57 of Polillo just a littlest bit. And then the 4, unfortunately, of DJ Girard. Man, he does not have the best luck, I'll tell you what. He gets collected as well as the 5 machine of Michael Hendrickson. And I believe even the 18 gets a point of that. That's Jeffrey Frugia. So about a 4-car incident there, unfortunately. And going to rack them up and try this again.
Pulling up the old instant replay here, sponsored by AWS Roofing. I'm just going to take a quick peek here from a little bit further back. You can see, as we made mention, the 51-57. This is where it's going to be right here, coming into the corner, coming out of turn number 4. And looks like he almost saves it, but unfortunately there were a couple other cars that were coming up in the racing groove that had nowhere else to go. They got made a little bit of contact, went down in there to John Deere country, or Green Acres as it were. So tough break for those guys. Doesn't look like there was anything too crazy major as far as damage on those cars, so that's definitely good news there. I do want to take a quick moment here to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Rent a Race Car. They're a street stock team based in Berlin, Connecticut that races at Stafford Motor Speedway, and they actually rent out street stocks for first time and amateur racers, and they're the team that I've personally been working with for 6 or 7 years now up at Stafford Speedway. And the goal at Rent a Race Car is to introduce you to short track racing and allow you to have fun without spending thousands of dollars on your own car, truck, trailer, spare parts, tools, personnel, know-how, all that good stuff. For some, it's a realization of a childhood dream, and for others, it's the beginning of a lifelong hobby. And for me, it was actually both. The first time I was ever at Stafford Motor Speedway, I was in a street stock race, and I finished 13 that night. So that was very, very cool. And I've been to the track as much as I can. There was a few years where I didn't miss a show, but unfortunately getting promoted to management and all that good stuff kind of sucked a lot of my time away from the racetrack. But man, oh man, we're getting ready for that practice session next Saturday at the track. You might be able to see that live here on Verdane TV, still working out all the kinks, but getting real excited. The COVID-19 stuff is starting to kind of fade away, and all the racetracks throughout the country are starting to do open practices. I know Wesley said New Smyrna was getting ready to open up yesterday for some competition, but unfortunately it was rained out. And we saw our buddy Ryan Stevens on Facebook was not a happy camper because he wants to see racing just as bad as everybody else does, Wes.
Yeah, I think we all do. All of us race fans, everybody in the race community is ready to rock and roll. We're ready to get back at the track. We're ready to have fans at the track and just be in that environment. The scents, the sounds, the sights, the whole 9 yards. You want to be there. And unfortunately, some tracks around the country have not opened back up yet. Some are doing their darndest to make it happen. So lights are out on the pace car. Your front row is still the way it was from a lap 1. Teddy Hodgins is your leader. Second place, Blanchard in that 9.
Going to be paying a close eye to the 56 car, Brandon Wilkinson. He's looked very aggressive, very racy so far in this opening third of the 75 lap feature tonight. He got next to Ryan Blanchard during a short green flag run, wasn't able to take advantage of it, but we'll see what he can do here. Green flag is out. Teddy Hodgson able to be cleared. As I was just saying, Brandon Wilkinson gets underneath the 9 car of Ryan Blanchard. Blanchard using that top side. He's actually got the advantage coming off of the top of turn number 2. Wilkinson giving him space, being methodical. Don on the bottom side of the racetrack. Trouble. We got one car slamming the guardrail on the outside of 3 and 4. It was a black car. Not exactly sure who
Nicholas
that
Hovey.
was.
Kyle, it was Nicholas Hovey in the 16. He does have it gathered up and back going.
Obviously well off the pace from that impact, but able to keep it straight, keep it green. But an unfortunate break there for Nicholas Hovey. He loses a ton of time. We'll rejoin that battle going on for position number 2. That has settled now. Ryan Blanchard has won that battle, putting the 56 of Brandon Wilkinson behind him. And Kyle Souza is 4th. Souza starting to show a little bit of that Christmas flash that we saw earlier from Nicholas Salva in the heat race.
Kyle, the battle is for 10th right now. The 18 of Jeffrey Ferrugia and Colin Hefner in the 87. I'm not sure if there's an issue between these guys, but Colin is doing everything he can to get to the bumper of the 18 and give him a shot. Corner after corner, as now he looks low on him, and looks like he's going to possibly be able to get through him clean. A little bit of contact out of 4, but Colin is breaking into the top 10 and has his sights now set on Ferlino in that 44 machine.
Great pass out of the 87 car. He moves into the top 10 for the first time tonight. A little group of cars going on back here. Obviously, we have the... Oh, look at that. Big bump there out of the 714. Oh, trouble in front of them. The 51 car of Anthony Bello goes into the outside wall hard. He continues to get clobbered. He collects multiple other machines with him. Massive trouble here on the front stretch, just coming off of turn number 4.
Ted Grove's luck has gone from bad to worse. Week after week after week here at the East Coast Winter League. This man will win his heat races if he needs to be involved in them, and somehow he finds calamity. And unfortunately, this time around, it strikes him again as he decided to activate his ARCA brake button inside his race machine and try to drive straight through the smoke. However, the 51 was in his way, and that was to be no avail. Anthony Bello, hard hit coming out of 4.
Yeah, looking at the AWS Roofing Instant Replay, we've actually got 2 wrecks that happened simultaneously, not related to each other. We're looking right now, you saw it live on your screen, the 714 getting in the back quarter of the 18. Check that other way around. The 18 gets a little piece of the front bumper of the 90. And we'll back this up just one more time here to take a look at the Anthony Bello number 51 machine. You see there's nobody around him right here, but you can see how he's on that flat part of the apron. He gets loose and he overcorrects and slams it into the outside wall. So collects a couple of, oh, there's the ARCA brakes. Whoo, hoo, hoo, hoo. Big hit right there. That car's done. A lot of black smoke coming out of that. And there you can see the flag man getting after it, giving that yellow flag his all, letting everybody know to slow the heck down. Got some cars tore up here on the front stretch.
We can let you know already that the Ted Grow machine is done for the evening. He has stepped out of his number 33 car. Looks like we also... no, maybe that was just something else. But he is definitely out of this event. We can also, as I just see it come through, the connection issues for the number 8 car of Nicholas Salva have not recovered. As we've reached our halfway mark of this race, he has just fallen out of the server. So that's... tough for him. Salvo was already 3 laps down in position number 20. And also, as expected, there are a couple big shots for the 51. Anthony Bello is going to be retired from this event as well. So, unfortunate ordeal there. Lots of big, heavy hits. We're losing a few competitors here, but we are on the downhill slope of this race. We have crossed over the halfway mark. It's been Teddy Hodgson all the way through. Ryan Blanchard's been behind him the whole way as well. Brandon Wilkinson, we've seen him continue to challenge Ryan Blanchard for second. Hasn't been able to get around him for that position just yet. But so far, that 56 car looking very good. And really the top 5, they've all been consistent. Couple position swaps throughout this first half of the race. But top 5 have stayed there since starting there and looking strong so far.
Yeah, and this is why your top 5 is up in points as they are as well. It's all about consistency. It's all about staying out of the trouble and trying to create your own luck. And one good way of doing it is by running up front, and that's what Teddy has been able to do. But again, not much of a change up front as Teddy Hodgson is your leader. Ryan Blanchard going to be second. Brandon Wilkinson. You know, when this season started, we started calling him. Brandon Wilkinson just was not having any luck. He wasn't making races. It was tough to see. He was working his tail off. Now you look at him, the spotters sit in third position. So the pace car heads down pit road. We are green flag. Teddy Hodgins again with the whole shot going into one.
Another great start by the 55 car. The 56 of Brandon Wilkinson will follow underneath the number 9. Watch the 9 get the run off the top. And here comes Wilkinson again on the bottom. He's evening it up down the back straightaway. Looks like Blanchard with a slight advantage going in. Wilkinson still with a preferred line. He pushes up the racetrack a little bit, backs off the gas, and it will allow the 9 car Ryan Blanchard to clear. We're still a tight side-by-side contact between Borges and Souza. Souza sliding off at turn number 2. He saves that race car in an unbelievable move, loses a handful of spots, but keeps it pointed in the right direction. We stay green.
Michael Hendrickson in the 5 machine got caught up in a chain reaction event, got a bump and turned completely sideways and around coming out of turn 2. No caution, though. That was a 1-car spin, so tough break for Hendrickson in that 5 machine. He's got a long way to go if he wants to get back up here and contend for a top 5. But with the way this race has been going, I'm going to have to say, Kyle, they may have a chance at a yellow to gather everything up, as here's Ferrugia in the 18 washing up the track, getting into the 90 of Zeems to take that 10th position.
Bit of a mistake there. Oh, Zeems, oh, it looks like he's trying to get back underneath of him here. I thought he was going to send it in there and pound the back bumper of the 18 car, but he kind of backed off on entry there, looked inside, wasn't able to do anything there. So Ken Zeems in the number 90 will have to settle into position number 11 for the moment until he can come up with a return plan on getting around the number 18 machine. Kind of starting to see some space throughout our top 10 here a little bit. Things are more tight packed up at the front into the top 5. Ryan Borges now in the 32 car. He is all over the back bumper of Brandon Wilkinson in the 56 car. Ryan Libby has now made his way to the top 5 for the first time tonight. We'll see how strong that 46 car can be amongst these top competitors. But so far, everyone still rolls around here single file.
This is what we were talking about earlier, starting to get into that rhythm, get into that groove, and get the long green flag run in. And I think, Kyle, this might be the beginning of it if I didn't just jinx it. It's kind of oh man, the 90 of Ken Zeems just get completely washed up the track by John Pulio in the 57. Not sure if that was retaliation for something, but he completely dive bombed and went almost into the grass. And just to get that position, if he wouldn't have gone as deep as he would have, Kyle, I would have said that was a great bump and run, but he looked like he was aiming for more than a bump.
Great job by the 90 of Ken Zeems to save it once again. He loses another spot to a bit of an aggressive move. I don't personally see it on my end here. I don't know if the drivers are seeing anything else. Maybe there's a target painted on the back end of that blank number 90 machine from behind the wheel of these cockpits, but so far, Ken still keeping his car straight and pointed in the right direction, so we will continue to click laps off. We have 25. Oh, we got a car spun around on the backstretch.
Bissett Jr.
Of George Bissett Jr. Not sure exactly what happened there, but again, another solo spin. He gets it gathered. We're still green.
Kyle, nothing has changed up front as your leaders are kind of starting to walk away now from Wilkinson in that 56 for third, as the 32 of Borges now all over the bumper. Wilkinson coming off a 4. He wants that podium spot as, he gets a chance to give him a bumper, and he chooses not to. Some great patience being shown here as of right now.
Yeah, this is a great battle, 3rd through 5th. Ryan Libby not pressuring Borges as much as Borges is pressuring Brandon Wilkinson, but still a pretty fun battle to watch. Borges knows he's starting to run out of time. He wants to move up into that position, maybe have something for the race leaders, and now he's into the back of Brandon Wilkinson hard, puts Wilkinson into the wall. Borges gets spun, collects DJ Gerard, and the caution flag will fly once again. May have had a little bit of influence from that lap car of DJ Gerard there. Wilkinson had to check up just a bit, move to the outside line. Gerard was holding on to the apron, but here at Stafford Motor Speedway, these drivers consistently use the apron as part of their bottom line running space, and it looks like there was just a slight hesitation there from Wilkinson to give the 13 some extra space. Not sure if Borges didn't see that or if he was trying to be aggressive on the back bumper, but either way, it did not play out for the best for him as he spins, hits the outside wall, and takes the 13 car with him.
I think that I think a lot of that may have been some tempers as well. Wilkinson didn't like that bump he got from Forge, hit the wall and said, hey, if I'm going around, you're going around with me.
And that's just about what we just saw in the AWS Instant Replay. DJ Gerard doing the right thing, staying down there. That's actually what we do at the actual real track. We stay down on the apron, let everybody go by on the high side, so no harm there. But you can see the 56 goes up high a little bit, gets a little bit of a shot from the 32, hits the wall, tries to correct it, and may have just been a little bit heavy on the left-hand turn off of the bounce, the wall there, but... don't know if that's going to end up being a penalty, but it does look like, yeah, it may very well be. It looks like Wilkinson's going to be lined up 15th at this point. Last car on the lead lap. So we got 16 cars. Check that, 15 cars on the lead lap, and it looks like 18, maybe 19 cars still running here with less than 25 to go.
All right, and I think something you want to keep your eye on here is going to be that John Pulio machine of the 57. He plowed through Jeffrey Ferrugia as well as he did at Ken Zeems to move up to the 8th position. I'm not sure if he's just having brake issues. Maybe he's not as experienced, but the guy has shown no remorse of just plowing through his competitors in front of him to get the spot in front of them. So keep an eye on that 57 because he's got 2 drivers behind him that may not be happy with him.
Always gotta love short track tempers. Nothing quite better than a good old classic short track brawling and getting some guys hot under the collar. So we're starting to wrap up here, getting towards the closing stages of this race. We currently have 18 laps to go. Obviously, we'll have fewer than that on the restart. The big beneficiary of that whole incident there between the 32 and the 56 is the 46 car of Ryan Libby. He was able to get around both cars. Now he sits in position number 3. He will have an opportunity to attack Ryan Blanchard on this next restart. And, of course, we look to gain control of the race lead here early on. I know we've missed a couple weeks here. Well, we missed last week here on Video TV. I have missed the last couple weeks here with the East Coast Winter League. So at least last to my knowledge, Ryan Libby has not pulled into victory lane yet this season. So if that is still the case, we know he is going to be hungry to do so here as we start to wind down the season. We are doubled up. We will restart with 16 laps to go. Teddy Hodgen going to lead him down once again.
Teddy gets that start that he's gotten time and time again as Kyle Souza there in 4th. I thought
we got trouble in the back west. I saw a yellow car hit the grass and then turn somebody. We got a big mess, it sounds like, potentially, here in turn number 1. The 39 machine of George Bassett Jr. is involved with this. Not sure he was. He was the car that yellow machine clipped. That yellow machine was the 38 of Ignacio Adams. I saw a lot of cars there in that restart kind of sway out to the bottom. I'm not really sure what that was all about, but the 38 was one of them to do it, and he did not do it well as he collected another car in that.
Kyle, the 87 of Colin Hefner did not go on that restart, and that definitely bogged them up, as well as Ryan Borges did not have the best start, and that just caused a traffic jam in the back. And then after that, it was some drivers noticing it, some not, and the 38 looked like he hit the grass and just kind of lost it on his own, Paul.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at right now in the AWS Roofing Instant Replay. Everybody kind of boggled up right here as we're looking at your screen, and 38 trying to get out of the way, but unfortunately, like you said, he clips the dirt there, spins the tires, and gets the back end of that car twisting on around, and unfortunately collects everybody. They were just about 3 wide right where they were, so collected who was next to him and behind him, and quite a few hits, and there was a couple of cars that were actually pumping out some black smoke from the back of the cars. So going to restart with 9-10 laps to go. We'll see if League Administrator Dylan Kopech will switch it over to single file restarts, but I think we're going to go to the checkered here with a double fly. We'll have to find out and see.
Should get the restart with less than 10 laps to go in this one. Everybody enjoys running under green flag conditions and getting race laps in, but either way, I don't really think Teddy Hodgson is too upset with this. He's been out front the whole way. Of course, restarts puts him at a more vulnerable position than if he was just able to run it during green flag laps. But so far, Teddy's been pretty perfect on these restarts. He's looked very strong. He's been able to clear these guys just about every time. So You'd like to see green flag laps if you're out in front, but at the same time, he's looking great. He's got control of these restarts. It's going to be hard to beat him here in these late stages.
I agree. You know, the way this season started, I'm not sure if you were with us, Kyle, but we had Alex McCollum that was racing with us, and the guy dominated. It was either going to be Alex McCollum or Kyle Ellie was the two drivers that it was either one of those two were going to be the ones going to victory lane. And then all of a sudden, Teddy Hodgson came onto the scene and started running flawlessly, as he has time and time again. And we don't get to see Ellie as often, as well as Alex McCollum. So it's became the Teddy Hodgson's party. But you cannot rule out that Ryan Libby machine, ladies and gentlemen. You typically see him riding around in the top 5 in any time that he gets the opportunity to. And that points lead is only a 22-point lead in between those two. And we still have 2 more races after this, so anything can happen. And still in it is Ryan Blanchard. He's 3rd place. He is about 30 points behind. So there's a bit of a gap there, but those 3 have the best chance of this championship.
And it's no surprise that those 3 are currently running in positions 1, 2, and 3 out on the racetrack. It does look like we will have a single file restart this time. It will come with 9 laps to go, so that makes things a little more difficult for these guys trying to gain positions off of these restarts. It helps to start next to somebody than it does directly behind them, but we'll see how this goes. The pace car goes to pit lane. Teddy Hodgson circling around right up next to the guardrail, cuts down to the bottom of the track. The field follows him, and we are back to racing once again. Nice clean start from the field. One car breaking out, looking low to the inside for position. He falls back in line. I think that may have been the 714 car of Alfred Vasseur. Vasseur, your 21st place starter, the heat race winner, all the way up to position number 5 and looking for more as he's trying to get around the 7 car of Kyle Souza, but is unable to do so at the moment.
Single file further throughout the field. Looks like there's really not any battle. Ooh, we got one in the wall. DJ Gerard is in the opening. He has decided to park it. Somehow he got wrecked going into turn 1, but he is now off the track immediately. So I believe Gerard will be done for this event. Unfortunate events there for him, but now the battle is for the 6th position as the 18 tries to hold off the 17 of Hefner. They're side by side coming out of 2.
Looks like the 18 of Ferrugia going to pull over and give him the spot. May have made a mistake there in doing so, because that is allowing the 57 of John Polio to pull to the inside, and he will move around the 18 car as well. There's another side-by-side battle going up further in the field. That is for position number 3, and that has a change in position as Kyle Souza has made his way around the 46 car. So the 7 of Souza moves back to position number 3. Flagger shows him a handful. 5 laps of racing to go.
Just 5 to go so far. Leading it from flag to flag has Teddy Hodgson, and all over his bumper. No, here comes Ryan Blanchard. Finally, look at this is the biggest challenge that Hodgson has seen all race along, coming to 4 to go. Ryan Blanchard looked low, but did he show his cards a little too soon?
His first attempt did not work. He'll try to reel him back in, and he gets a great run coming off at turn number 2. He looks to the inside once again going into turn 3. Down on the apron, trying to get that modified to turn. Unable to do so, and attempt number 2 is a failure as well. While he's doing that, that's allowing the 7 of Souza to close back in. He's got to be careful. He wants to win this race, but he doesn't want to get into a battle with Souza because that will eliminate his hopes.
You can't battle for too long, or you're going to allow the leader to walk on. So if Souza wants that chance at this, he needs to make quick work of Teddy Hodgson, but it may be too little too late here. 2 to go.
Off of turn number 2, lap and a half down the backstretch for the penultimate time. Teddy Hodgson in control. Ryan Blanchard about a car length back. What does Blanchard have? He needs to show his cards now because the white flag is out. Final time here tonight from Stafford Motor Speedway. A great run through 1 and 2 for both drivers. It looks like the gap is closing. Blanchard is definitely within bump and run distance. What does he do here in turn number 3? Both drivers drive in, and looks like he's going to try to back the corner up, peek to the inside, but it won't be enough. Out of turn number 4, Teddy Hodgson goes wire to wire, and he will win race number 10 of the East Coast Winter Racing League here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Ryan Blanchard will come home runner-up in position 2. Kyle Souza will pick up the 3rd position. Ryan Libby falls to 4th and stays there. And Alfred Vasseur rounds out the top 5. Your heat race winner started all the way back in 21st, gained 16 spots for that 5th place finish. John Palio, early troubles throughout this race. He comes back for 6th. Colin Hefner finishes 7th. Brandon Wilkinson fades all the way back to position number 8. Charlie Dimer Jr. will be 9th, and Ryan Borges, after getting involved in that caution late in the going, he comes home in 10th, the last car on the lead lap.
Man, what a battle we just saw for 75 laps. And again, we said it at the beginning of this program that this league brings you nothing but action from wire to wire, even if it's Teddy Hodgen leading it from a lap 1 to 75. So congratulations, Teddy Hodgens. And we're going to take a quick break here at Vidane TV. When we come back, we're going to try to grab a couple of these guys for an interview.
You want to know what makes your favorite food taste even better? Not having it for a while. You want to know what makes the holidays so great? Only having them once a year. You want to know what made your first visit to the racetrack the best? Never having that experience before. When we have too much of something, it's easy to take it for granted. This is a reminder to appreciate every track, every race, every crew member, and every win. Because there will be a time when those moments seem out of reach.
Living with anxiety or depression can make everyday situations and interactions seem impossible, and getting the right help can be expensive and inconvenient. We're changing that with Tranquility. Our program follows the highly effective gold standard, cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps people change negative thoughts and unhelpful behaviors by teaching them skills to practice in real life. Using Tranquility is convenient. You can move at your own pace from your phone or computer, and you don't have to do it alone. Your one-on-one coach is there to help keep you motivated and supported all the way through. If you're ready to unlock the tools you need to approach the day with confidence, visit tranquility.app to sign up for a free trial.
Gentlemen, welcome back to Vidane TV, and we are here with your top 3 here tonight, and I will attempt to grab Kyle Souza. Kyle, you got a copy?
Yeah, I get you guys.
Kyle, man, what a finish there. You had one shot, you sent it into 3 and 4, couldn't quite get to Ryan Blanchard, let alone Teddy Hodges, but man, you ran a solid race throughout the night. Walk us through.
Yeah, good showing, man. I'm pretty happy with it. We didn't qualify as well as you didn't necessarily need to. I think the other two will tell you when they come in. I mean, the track position in this car is so crucial because it's a little bit underpowered. And I knew that, just missed it a tick on qualifying. It was a good run. We dropped back to 7th or 8th there, got a little messed up with somebody for some reason. I don't even know what happened. But we got back up there, finished 3rd. I'm happy with it. Car's not got much damage on it, so that's good. And podium finish is always good.
As it is, and man, you're still in the points battle. I believe you're right outside of striking distance, so to say, but you're not too far gone going into the event. You were sitting 4th in points, so you still have some life. I believe that you were about, I think, like 33, 34 points out. What's it going to take to get a chance at this championship?
Yeah, it's going to take those guys that are up in front of me there to mess up, have a bad night. You know, I started a little bit later than them. I didn't run all the races, so it'll take a little bit of assistance from their part, kind of bad luck, but just keep coming out and try to finish top 3 every time, and that's about all you can do. The setup's good, man. The car was good. I wish there was more laps at the end. I felt like I was just as good as those guys at the front, but like I said, the power is such a major factor. It's hard to get a run on somebody, especially if they're all going just as fast as you. And Ryan and Teddy in front of me, Wilkinson, everybody was pretty much going just about the same speed. So just shows you the quality of drivers that are here.
Yeah, man. Every time we call these races on Saturday nights, you guys put on such a great show. There's always action throughout the field. There's always new names being said. And we know to make this happen, it takes a little bit of help. Who would you like to say thank you to, hello to, or just give a shout out that might be watching?
Yeah, I can't complain about third, and I talk to the guys on a weekly basis. I've been running the Stafford Friday night races. That Stafford's putting on themselves. Then Dylan comes in here and runs this. But yeah, I just got to thank Kyle Casper, Josh Hedges, two guys. One was spotting, one's reading lap time, stuff like that. Always good to have a couple guys on the radio with you. Other than that, thank you guys for the broadcast. And Dylan does a great job throwing everything together. It's a lot of work to run something like this. So thanks to him as well.
Put on a great show for the last 9 weeks. The 10th week was no difference. Kyle, congratulations on your podium finish, and we can't wait to see you next week.
All right, guys. See you next week. Thanks.
Sir. All right. So the next coming into the booth here will be Ryan Blanchard, and I believe Kyle is with him.
Yes, from one Kyle to the next, and this Kyle has a Ryan right next to him. Ryan Blanchard, your runner-up finisher here tonight. Ryan, a very strong night for you, very good night for you, but just not quite enough to get around that 55 car all night long. Started in position 2, never lost that second place position, but just couldn't get the lead. Walk us through your race.
Yeah, we had a really good car thanks to Mark Logan and everyone at Wolfpack Motorsports. Brandon and Teddy, them guys are really fast and they were pressuring me all night. But me and Brandon are teammates, and he was trying to get me in line on those restarts as fast as he could. And the car was really good thanks to Mark Logan and Brandon for putting in all the time on it. Before I joined Wolfpack Motorsports, me and my teammates Teddy Hodgson, or my ex-teammates Teddy Hodgson, Travis Hydar, and John Pulio and Andrew Moeller, we were all in the same set, and it felt really good to see them guys succeed in this series, and moving to Wolfpack Motorsports and Mark Logan building me some seriously good setups, and me being able to put on a run like that with his setup, it really helps my relationship with him. And we tried a new package tonight, and it actually worked, and our car was really fast, and um, you know, uh, I just didn't have enough to get by Teddy. Me and Teddy are really good buddies, and I still talk to him. We're friends in real life, and um, I just can't race someone dirty. I just got to get under him clean, and I got to race him clean. I've had experiences with netcode before, and my internet has been a little not so good lately. So I've been scared to get under guys and wreck them for the lead or something like that, and then get an EOL. So I just want to try to get by him as clean as possible and give him as much room as possible.
So this was race number 10. Race 10 has come and gone. We have 2 weeks left. Of course, tonight with you losing to Teddy Hodgson by 1 position, your gap in the points is going to increase just a little bit, which will make things tougher. With only 2 races left, what kind of things do we need to do to this number 9 car to get it a better shot at a champion?
Yeah, I'm not really sure we have too much of a shot left at the championship. I think the only way we're gonna have a shot at the championship is if Teddy wrecks the next couple of weeks, which I don't hope that against him. But if it happened to happen, I wouldn't, I'd be pretty pumped about that, to be back in contention for the championship going into the final race, or maybe the last race in general. But I think the only way Teddy's gonna be really getting to mid pack is if he either chokes on qualifying or doesn't make qualifying, or gets shuffled back during a race when someone passes him. I don't really know. Also Ryan Libby's pretty damn good in this series, and you know, uh, like I said, the shock package that Mark Logan built me this week that we came up with, it really, really was fast tonight, and I think we had a little bit better of a car than Teddy in that 55 car, and you know, we gapped third a lot tonight, and on Friday night I got dumped in second after we pulled a really big gap on third, me and Teddy, and I was very disappointed. I was hoping that wasn't going to happen to me tonight, and fortunately it didn't. So yeah.
Well, Ryan, it's great to see that the new connections for you are starting to work out and producing the same great results that we've known you to have. You've given already a lot of props to your team and the guys that make things happen for that number 9 car. Anybody else that you like to throw in there?
Yeah, of course. I just like to shout them out again. Mark Logan and everyone at Wolfpack Motorsports with Brandon Wilkinson, Epic Media, my spotter, Brandon Wilkinson. He raced tonight. He figured he'd throw another couple laps in the SK. He was on our stuff tonight, and he struggled a little bit. He got dumped later on in the race, and it sucks for him. And I was just hoping that he could come away with the top three. But yeah, huge thanks to him, Mark Logan, Epic Media, Waddell Communications. I hope he's watching this. We've been racking up podium finishes here for Wolfpack Motorsports, and this gives him and Epic Media great coverage on the broadcast.
That is your second place finisher tonight, Ryan Blanchard, the number 9 card, coming home as the runner-up spot. Had a strong night all night long, was staring at the back bumper of the 55 for the entirety of that 75-lap feature event. Couldn't find a way around him. But one guy that has found his way around the 55 car, around the rear end, and over to the driver's door where the driver is hanging out right now, that is my man Wes Ho, getting ready to talk to Teddy. Teddy and Wes, what do you guys got?
Teddy, you did it one more time. You've done it again. You brought home the win. You've strengthened your points lead. Man, it seems like after you got a couple of the bugs out from the first few weeks of this season, you've just been on a roll.
Yeah, like you said, the first half of the season, we had podium finish and stuff and wrecks that we didn't want, but as the second half rolled on, we really dialed in the setup and the thing got really good. So hopefully we'll click a couple more wins off before the end of the season here. I know we only got like 3 races left, so just counting down the races, and once the last checkered flag flies, we'll see how we ended up. But I know we got a pretty comfortable lead right now, but obviously don't want to sit with too much of a cushion.
You can never get too comfortable no matter how big that lead is until you've been declared the champion. And even though you've strengthened that lead, anything can happen. Now, you've led this one, and this isn't the first time you've led the majority, if not all of the laps. I know that isn't an easy feat. There at the end, you had the biggest challenge of the night, and that was Blanchard taking a couple shots low on you. Were you expecting the bump, or did you know that he was going to do whatever he could not to touch you getting around you?
Nah, we're really good buddies, so I knew he wouldn't purposely wreck me or anything. But he was really fast today. I knew he was the faster car as soon as we got out on track. So I was just holding him off in the long run, and then he looked pretty loose, but he also looked like he could get a better drive off me, off the corners. And, a couple times he looked down low, and I made sure to pinch him a little bit just to not have him get the drive off like he does. And we held it off there. So, just using lessons that we did from real life and just translating it on this, just, while we're still doing this. So it's good to finally get back to victory lane.
It's always refreshing feeling no matter how many times you roll into victory lane. It's always a refreshing, enlightening feeling. And who would you like to thank that helps you make things happen in real life and the virtual life? Who you'd want to say hello to that may be watching?
Yeah, I gotta say, Ryan for racing me clean. That was a good battle, obviously. And my real life sponsors, Monterey Fuel, Business Time Motorsports, Pete, Matt, and Chris Garcia, A-Pipe John Construction, Keith Rocco Racing, and Peta Horsepower, State Cutters, Dunleavy's Truck and Trailer Auto Repair, Napa Auto Parts, State Cutters, Jim's Welding, Ultimate Restoration, everyone watching from friends and family back home. Thank you guys for tuning in, and Dylan for putting on a great series. Oh, and I gotta give a special shout out real quick to my girlfriend. She's letting me run in her rig tonight, which is pretty cool because I'm over at her house. So.
Wait a minute, your girlfriend has a sim rig?
Yes, she does. I know. She was wanting to get into it, so she purchased a rig last year. So I'm over at her house today, so I'm running it. So it's pretty cool.
Teddy, you're going to have to post photos of this on social media if you haven't already, correct?
Yeah. I'll post it on my story. Don't worry.
Teddy, it's always awesome calling these races. It's always cool getting to interview you as well in Victory Lane, man. Again, congratulations. Best of luck the rest of the season, and we'll be here again for you Sunday.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and that was Teddy Hitchens using his girlfriend's sim rig. That's a pretty cool story, Paul. Paul, when's the last time you got to use your girlfriend's rig?
Oh well, it was a hot summer's
When was
day.
the last time Paul had a girlfriend?
1, 2, 3. Carry the 10. But I digress.
I haven't had a relationship since the 8th grade.
How cool is that? You could go over to your girlfriend's house who has a sim rig waiting for you. If I would have had that when I was younger, I would have only gotten divorced 3 times.
Absolutely, and it's always cool to see these couples. We get a lot of couples that support each other in the racing and the chat and all that good stuff. So I do want to give a shout out to everybody watching on Facebook and YouTube. Just give us a like, a subscribe, a share, all that social media mumbo jumbo. Let your friends know you just watched some live racing action here on Vidane TV. Taking a look right now at the schedule on screen. You can actually see I haven't updated the graphic yet. But tomorrow night, we're going to be running over to the Florida Pro Truck Challenge Series down in Florida. Wes, where are we racing tomorrow night?
We are at 5 Flags Speedway with the Florida Pro Trucks. We took a week off last week for Memorial Day, but we pick it right back up for week 3, the halfway point.
Excellent. Down there in Pensacola. I've actually been there a couple of times. My few visits in to the panhandle of Florida there. Haven't been to the racetrack yet. Maybe this year for the Snowball Derby. June 2nd, Tim's Corner. We're actually taking the night off. That's the iRacing build day. So we want to make sure that we've got all of the action lined up, all the kinks worked out of the iRacing update service that they're going to be launching sometime, I believe, Tuesday afternoon. So I may very well be at the Rent a Race Car shop lettering up the Vidane TV number 26 car. So that's going to be pretty exciting. We'll have pictures of that next weekend at the track. Wednesday night, back in action for the new Smyrna World E-Series of Racing. That's going to be 8 o'clock. Thursday night, the New England, Pennsylvania Shift IROC Series joins us from Texas, running the super late models. So had a great race there in Michigan this past week. Friday night and Saturday night, we got a twofer for Tim's Corner Motorsports, and Saturday the 6th, we're actually going to be doing some live streaming from Stafford Motor Speedway, the actual Stafford Motor Speedway, as we work on a rent-a-race car private test. So more details on that, be sure to check out the Facebook page throughout the week for any updates as we get them. But that's going to do it for us. We got a lot of action coming up here in the month of June. We've got, I believe there's 30 days in June, and we've got live shows scheduled for at least 23 of those days. So a lot of action here on Vidane TV. Want to thank everybody here from Kyle Young, from Rowdy Wesley Hogue, myself, Showtime Strickland Jr., everybody here at Vidane TV, the East Coast Winter League, and all of our sponsors, partners, and everybody like that. Pack all this stuff up. We're going to head on down the road, catch you guys on the flip side, and when we do, we'll be doing it live right here from Vidane TV. Thank you so much for coming out. Be safe and be well. Have a great night.